So what's going on, everyone? In this video and in this lesson, we're just gonna be going over how to land more wholesale accounts. I think the biggest challenge that people face in their business is like maybe you guys have some suppliers in your wheelhouse. Maybe you have some suppliers to contact, but you're struggling to get through barrier of entry. You don't know if they're worth your time. You don't know if you should be putting, more time and attention to them, having a dialed in sales process to follow up. And I want to break down essentially what I do inside the software and what is also coming in the future for the software for this specific thing to help with this process. And that is ultimately what I want to be doing today is I want to role play. I want to go around the room and I want to see your guys' approach on calling wholesalers and distributors and seeing how we can improve. So is there anyone that would like to raise their hand and go first? Or am I going to have to pick on someone? All right, awesome. So let's go with Muhammad.
Okay, so Paul, hi, good evening. So basically the issue I'm running into is I have maybe say, for example, 50, 60 wholesaler accounts in third-party profit that I have contacted. But one can say 98% of the time when I call them and I ask for the price catalog, they say they don't have it. And some of them are really good with a lot of products that I wish I could get the catalog out of them. So that is the one main issue I'm running into. And if I don't have the catalog, I cannot input it into the third-party profit to get the output, So that is the biggest challenge I'm facing right now.
Okay. So when you ask that question, how are you asking it?
I'm asking, I would say, I noticed that I have an account already set up with you guys, and I have it would be beneficial for me to get maybe a sheet of products and UPCs that we can run into my software, and then I can find some buying opportunities with you. That's how I start.
So let's reframe that question. This is what we're going to say. We're going to say, hey, this is Muhammad from XYZ company. We were just reaching out to see if you guys had an Excel file of your inventory and products and UPCs on hand. And the reason why is because when we're placing large purchase orders with our suppliers, that information allows us to be able to receive deliveries a lot faster for our business. So we're asking for the same thing, but how we're framing it is completely different. And what that will do is that will open up a door for them to be like, okay, well, if we want larger purchase orders out of them, then we might have to give this to them. Because a lot of suppliers have Excel files. There's going to be some that don't. It is what it is. Really, the best thing that we could do, and what I could do for you is we can message about this privately, is, we can see if there's something we can do to help you with this process a little bit deeper. Just send me a DM, and then that way I can help you with it.
Sounds good. Thank you. That will be very great.
Yes, Eugene.
Hey guys. So first of all, I wanna thank Paul. He goes out of his way, like tonight, right? Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Tonight he's doing a meeting for us, right? So thank you so much, Paul. And I've been away from the meetings and away from Discord, but I gotta tell you, I've had the best year. And I want to thank you, Paul, for that, because between you and Alex, you guys pushed me to that next level. And I truly, truly appreciate it, right? And to get to your question, right? Today, I got in contact with 2 wholesalers, right? How did I get in touch with them? I go to ChatGTP. I said, give me low-risk, Amazon-friendly brands, all right? So it comes up and it gives me a sheet. Let me open this up here. It gave me a sheet with the brand, the category, who's the distributor and the supplier.
Wow.
Does Amazon approve their invoices? Yes. Are they low risk, or what kind of risk level, low, medium, or high, and what do they sell? Okay, so I'll give you a couple examples. Desert Essence, category HBA, right? KeHE sells them. Yep. All right. They accept KeHE's invoices, and you know that. And they're low risk, oils, soaps, and lotions. So I get together with them. I set up the account. They're reviewing my account right now with the resale certificate. They'll give me a sheet Monday. So you got to use these tools that Paul gives you inside TPP, where you could brand search, combine with ChatGTP, combine with other tools, and you'll find what you're looking for. And by the way, I've been on your software all day today. The thing's fire, man. It's come so far from when we just started. When was it? Less than a year ago, right?
Yeah, it's in January. It's going to be technically like when we launched.
Right? So like a year, and it's come so far. all the tools in there, especially like if you're approved or not approved, it's fire. So, but yeah, guys, Chat GTP, use the software for finding brands locally to your town, and just dig in, and don't be afraid. Go in with confidence. Hey, listen, I want to set up an account with you. What do you need from me? How soon can you get me the spreadsheet? Straightforward.
I love it. Thank you, Gene, for the kind words. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's all to me. Made my day. So that's why I love doing this stuff. I love it. I love to hear that. So is there anyone like specific that wants to jump in? Because if not, I'm gonna start calling on people, and I don't want to call on people, but I want to help you guys improve your businesses, because everything starts with finding profitable suppliers, right? Like, the software is great, but if you don't have profitable suppliers, no matter what software you use, it's not going to solve the root problem, right? And the root problem is stemming from finding wholesalers and getting access to profitable pricing. And there's a huge thing that I want you guys to understand with this, is that you might have good suppliers right now in your business, but you just don't have profitable pricing. And that's it, right? That's the missing factor in the equation. It's just pricing, the one thing to solve. And it all comes down to how you initially reach out to the distributor, how you initially opened up the wholesale account, how you framed yourself as a business that's going to lead to this. So for anyone that's like struggling to find profitable suppliers, or maybe you have a few wholesale accounts, like, now is the perfect time to jump in. And I want to be able to role play, and I want to be able to act as if I'm the distributor. I want to give you objections. That way you can practice to overcome these objections. So does anyone want to step up to the plate, or am I going to have to pick on someone? I'm going to have to pick on someone? All right, let's go through the list here. Let's see. Who am I going to pick on? All right, you know what? Delk, I'm going to start with you. I want to start with you. You've been selling on Amazon now for what?
1 second.
For 7 to 8 months?
That's all right. Yeah, I've been selling for about a year.
Okay.
All right. Actually, a year and 4 days.
So this is what I want us to do. So I'm going to act as if, and Delk, what would you prefer? Would you prefer for you to be the distributor, or for me to be the distributor?
It's up to you, bro. I don't mind. It's up to you. We'll do whatever you want to do. Okay. Let me be calling in, because I've never been a distributor.
All right, cool. So the first step that I want you guys to start doing is make sure that when you're calling suppliers, use the supplier leads. We're going to improve upon this dramatically in going into 2026, but I want you guys to get familiar with this page. And the reason why is because this is fundamentally the first step to getting a profitable business on Amazon, is that you need to manage your sales process. So what I like to do first is I'm going to go into essentially my phone, whatever, and I'm just going to record this conversation. So you can use ChatGPT, you could do whatever. In the near future, essentially, you'll be able to do that in the software. You can click a button, it'll record your conversation. That way you can get a transcript. That's really what we're looking for. So Delk, you ready?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, cool. So let's start.
All right. Ring. Hey, this is Delk from XYZ Company. No, let me go. Hey, this is Delk from XYZ Company. I was hoping to speak with someone about opening up a wholesale account with you guys.
Yeah, sure. What do you do?
Yeah, for sure. We distribute branded consumer goods to a network of independent retailers, and we also work with some regional buyers. We also operate online sales channels, and we're hoping to bring on a few new suppliers this quarter. Your catalog came recommended to us from a colleague. So is there an application or a new account procedure that we could get started with?
So by online sales channels, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, we operate a little bit on Amazon and Walmart, but that's not really the primary focus of our business. Our main business is, just resale, not resale, but redistribution, and supplying independent retailers. Amazon is just one of the channels we use for overflow, or just selected brands that we're authorized for.
Okay, well, to be honest, at this time we've had a lot of discussions with our team, and we've decided to put a halt on new e-commerce accounts.
Yeah, I totally understand. We're not really looking to be like a traditional Amazon account. Our main business is redistribution, like I said before, not really marketplace reselling. Our main focus is working with our brick-and-mortar retailers, and any online activity that we do is really controlled, compliant, and we'll stay within MAP. So we don't compete with brands or disrupt any pricing or anything like that. I'm just curious, like, who do you currently support supply that operates in any sort of similar channels to ours?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with a few e-commerce businesses. I mean, we still have some now, but like I said, at this time, we're not really accepting new e-commerce businesses. We deal with a lot of people that call us, and we primarily focus on brick and mortar.
Yeah, I understand that. We distribute nationally. We run operations out of 2 commercial warehouses. We have a 10,000 square foot warehouse in New Jersey and a 3,000 square foot facility in Alabama. Both locations have full receiving capabilities with dock doors, forklifts, pallet jacks. We can happily accept 53-foot trailers, so we can really accommodate anything. We're not just like a typical Amazon account that's just trying to resell.
Okay, so yeah, so can I get your information, and then we'll reach back out in the near future?
Yeah, that's fine. You have my number, you have my email. I asked sort of what's making you want to not just go ahead and get open now. We'd be looking to place an order within the same week if we could, just go ahead and get the account open.
Well, to be honest, it's not really like my decision. I'm going to be passing this along to my manager, and my manager has very strict rules on like no e-commerce accounts. So like I said, I think it would be best if we can take your information, and then that way I'm only able to listen in. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Would it be all right if you just transfer me to your manager?
Yeah. So like I said, at this time, we are not accepting new e-commerce businesses. Like I said, we can take your information and we can follow back up in the near future, or if you'd like to follow up with us, that's what I'd recommend to do.
Well, you just told me that it was sort of up to your manager, so I was just wondering if I could, just go ahead and introduce myself to your manager, see if there's anything that we could work past there.
No, at this time, there's no e-commerce.
All right. All right.
Okay.
You win.
All right. So there's a few different things that we want to touch up on here. So the first thing is, to be honest, I think you did a pretty good job, but I think that there's a few improvements that we need to make.
All right, let me know.
Even with selling on Amazon for, what is it now? You said 8 months?
Nah, a year and 3 days. To be honest, bro, the way that I really never get like Amazon related objections. The way that I go in, I rarely get Amazon related or e-commerce related objections, to be honest. I do get I've had a fair share of we're not opening any new accounts right now, but they're not really whenever I get that, it's not solely because of e-commerce. It's just they're not opening them in general. Well, at least that's what they tell me. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I normally just follow up whenever they do that.
There's 2 main things that we need to work on tremendously. The first thing is that you did not ask who you're speaking to, was the first thing. Hold on one second. How do I let someone in the call here? Oh, Bill's in here. Okay. So the first thing is that you don't know my name. You don't know who you're speaking. Yeah. That's the first issue. The second issue is that when I was giving you objections and I was clearly saying no, the issue that you were facing that you need to start implementing into your business is that you need to get a time frame of when to follow up and who to follow up with, right? Get information. The next step after that is to then create a paper trail. So the way that it sounded when I was giving you objections of no e-commerce, no e-commerce, no e-commerce, it was more of a friction of being well, why not? Why not? Why not? Right. And that you can kind of poke the bear a little bit. At some point, if you're not going to go and figure out the real objection, the next thing to do is to create a paper trail. Say, okay, yeah, no worries. So we'll be able to follow up with you. Just out of curiosity, is there a specific time frame that you would like us to follow up? Oh, yeah, no, for us, I would say within the next 3 months. Okay, cool. And just out of curiosity, should I be contacting you or should I be contacting the sales manager? Yeah, you can contact the sales manager. Okay, perfect. Can I just have his name and his email? That way I can email him now. Just let him know that we completely understand at this time you're not accepting e-commerce businesses, but we look forward to working with you in the future if there's opportunity. Now what that does is that now when you send that email today, when you go into the software and you set that date of next contact, right? So if it's 3 months from now, let's say it's March 23rd, and you contacted them today, now if you're managing your sales process correctly, let's say March comes around, you want to say, all right, well, what suppliers am I contacting this month? We can go through and then see those suppliers. And then now what we want to do is inside of the notes, this is where you want to record your conversation, because this will allow you to now have all of those objections. Who did you speak to? Conversation that you had, right? How that conversation go. That way, when you're following up in 90 days, you're not going to run into the same roadblock that you went into today, which is you're already going to know what's coming. No e-commerce. Now, the thing that I'm a little bit upset with, Delphi, I feel like you didn't smoke out the real objection out of me. You're kind of just like poking the bear a little bit.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't like whenever they tell me no e-commerce, dude. I kind of like I don't get too caught up on it, to be honest. Like I just kind of move on to the next distributor. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of suppliers say no e-commerce though, and I mean, a lot of suppliers that we work with say no e-commerce, no Amazon, and we buy from them and they're profitable. So
yeah, I don't know. I go in so like I don't know. I don't sound like how I naturally sound whenever I was just talking right now. Like I go in so confident. Like I'm like when they pick up the phone, I act like I'm already buying from them. Like I'm so confident whenever I call these people. So I don't know. I rarely get objections.
Cool. I could feel the confidence through the phone. So it felt good. I would say in the beginning, just a little additional pointer. Whoever speaks more loses, right? And in the beginning, you were speaking a good amount, like kind of like word vomiting through the process. And that's kind of why I went down the direction of no e-commerce in the first place, is because the first few points of how we were connecting, it seemed like too like salesy in a way, like not organic. And from what I've seen, from what we've seen, and we've opened up now 40 plus wholesale accounts, and a lot of them are profitable. Really what it comes down to is the first initial point of contact is like, here, Doug, how about this? Now you're the distributor. I'm going to be the person, and let's go through the motion.
Okay.
Yeah. So ring, your side.
Hello.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? Is this Kahi Distributors?
Yeah. This is Mr. Kahi. What can I help you with?
Sure. Your name is Kahi?
Yeah, you can just call me Kahi.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we were just reaching out to become a wholesale customer.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah. So we're an e-commerce business. We sell through our own website as well as we do sell on Amazon.
Okay. My manager actually just told me to slow down with the e-commerce accounts.
Just out of curiosity, is there any specific reason why?
Yeah, we've just been opening up, like we opened up a bunch of e-commerce accounts last month. Just a bunch of people, they were saying that they wanted to, resell on Amazon, stuff like that. My manager told us to stop doing that. We've been having some issues with some brands getting mad at us for selling to these Amazon sellers. So he just told me to slow down.
And do you know why the brands are getting mad?
Yeah, something about like, I don't know, some sort of like pricing, like MAP pricing or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've heard this time and time again with distributors that we work with today, like Unify, Crasdale Foods, and Value Wholesale. They originally told us the same thing, that a lot of the brands that they sell were currently dealing with some vendor relations. And we were still able to open up the wholesale account. And now our average order size is around 600 cases bi-weekly. I know that you said that you're not currently opening up new wholesale accounts for e-commerce, but is it just because the customers that you've been accepting like aren't placing purchase orders?
No, I mean, they place purchase orders. None of them are really like that sort of quantity. Maybe they've been averaging anywhere from like 200 to 300 cases. But, like I said before, it's just kind of up to my manager. He said that we can take on some new e-commerce accounts within the next 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can definitely follow up in 3 months. Just out of curiosity, is there any way I can speak to the manager?
He's not here right now, but, I can take down your name and your number and we can, you can reach out to him whenever he gets back.
Sure. Can I actually have his information instead?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Sure. What is his name?
His name is Paul.
Okay. And what is his email?
Paul@kahi.com.
Okay, perfect. And he's the sales manager, right?
Yeah, he's like the top sales guy. Yeah.
And just to clarify, you guys aren't opening up new e-commerce accounts because the brands that you work with are getting frustrated?
Yeah, that's exactly why.
Okay. I understand. Okay, perfect. Well, then we'll reach back out in 90 days from now, and we'll send over an email to Paul, and we'll kind of clarify, what we can do for you and make sure it's the right fit. Just to kind of finish the last thoughts here, something that we heavily lean into for our company is that we don't want to be a part of the problem. We want to be a part of the solution. So we understand that a lot of brands on Amazon are struggling right now. They have relationships with distributors where, they want to sell products, but the people that they're selling to, they're not really business owners. They're just people that want to make a quick buck on Amazon. For us, we operate out of a 10,000 square foot warehouse in New Jersey. We have a loading dock. Like I said, we have great relationships with suppliers that carry similar products to you. I think that we can transfer a lot of business to you, but we look forward to working with you in the future if there's opportunity.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for the call.
Sure, no worries. Take care. Have a good one.
You too.
So in that process, like sometimes you can't win them on the first run, but it's to try to lead the conversation with a with a good standing, and then I'm going to go back and then I'm going to say the exact same thing back to the person through email. So once again, like, I didn't give you an email information. I wanted your email information. Why? Because there's a chance you might not reach out to me. Right?
Yeah, that's true. I've never gotten reached back out to.
I want to reach out to you. You're denying me, right? So like, what is going to incentivize you to reach out to me? So I want to get your information. That way I can reach out to you and then say, hey, it was a pleasure speaking with you. We completely understand that right now you're not accepting new e-commerce businesses because of the current vendors and brands that you're working with. Jot that down, create an email thread. And then you want to, next time in 90 days, follow up with them on the email thread, and then you're going to call them again and say, hey, this is Paul from XYZ company. We reached out on December 23rd. You guys told us to follow up in 90 days. I was wondering if I could speak with Paul from KHE.com because he's the sales manager, and that's originally what Stacy told. Boom. Now all of a sudden, you're no longer like a cold customer coming in, right? You've made a point of contact. Now, once again, if you go through that process again and you struggle, the next step that I would take is to try to find them at a trade show that's going to be local to you, right? I wouldn't go out and book an expensive hotel and flight unless you are able to financially, or maybe have points on your credit card and it's worth it. And there's other distributors out there on that trade show too. But that would also be my next step, is then see, all right, well, how can I make a point of contact with that company in person? Would that move the needle? Now, there might be some people in this room where it's like, well, how do I know the supplier is worth that time and effort to put in? Like, how do I know that, a supplier that I'm reaching out to is even worth my time? And the way that you can tell is by them rejecting you. Right? Any supplier that's going to reject you is going to have opportunity. It's just that simple. Any supplier that and this is why, the people that invest in themselves, they take the time out of their day, they hop on these meetings, they learn more, they educate themselves, and more importantly, they implement the information, are the ones that grow their business. Because a lot of people get told no, and they'll find every single reason to say that something doesn't work, that they got in too late, that it's too competitive, that nothing's profitable, right? They'll find every reason to put themselves down, when in reality, what they should be doing is finding every single reason to pick themselves up, right? And by picking themselves up, you always got to look at the positive side. The positive side is that there's 99 other people that are going to get denied, and they're going to say what I just said, right? And they're going to be on that brink of wanting to give up. And the people that win in business, the only reason why they won is because they didn't give up. There's nothing special about any single person that ends up building a company besides the fact that they just didn't stop, right? They were delusional enough to put in work when there was nothing to show for it, right? And it's like going to the gym. You go to the gym, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to gain muscle, whatever it is, but you're not going to see the results the first time you jump into the gym. You might be looking around people around you that are lifting double the weight as you, and it's kind of intimidating. You feel like people are looking at you and judging you or whatever, but in reality, you got to put yourself out there. Yeah, Cam, what's up?
So like distributors that say that they're not accepting online only sellers at the moment, how'd you go about it? You ought to just come off the same way that I came off with other distributors that kind of want you to have like a brick and mortar setup to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, I would come off the same way that I just did. What you need to do is need to figure out the real objection, because them selling to only brick and mortars is not true. Like we buy from distributors that say that all the time. And how do I know that? Because I went through that. It took me 5 years to open up a wholesale account with the distributor that denied me because they said no brick and mortar. It took 5 years. It was a hell of a sales process, but we got it open, right? It's just smoke and mirrors. And like I said, the way to really get those accounts open is by finding the real objection, which is like digging into what it is. Is it a brand issue? Is it another issue that no one talks about online or anything? Is inventory. Inventory is a massive reason why distributors that say brick and mortar only say no to e-commerce businesses. Why? Because what we love to do, if you're selling on Amazon, maybe if you're just starting out, you don't quite understand this yet, but every single new seller will run into the problem where they run out of cash and they have too many products to buy. It happens to every single person I know. In the beginning, you feel like you can't find anything. What happens with e-commerce businesses is that we go and we take all the inventory. We find a product and maybe, it sells 2,000 times a month. You're like, all right, cool. I want to buy 300 units of the item. And to us, that seems normal. But to the local brick and mortar, they're maybe buying a case or two, and they're forecasting their inventory for all their customers that they've been selling to for years and years and years. And for you as that brick and mortar buying from that supplier, the relationship that you've had, if you go to them all of a sudden they don't have any inventory, that's going to piss you off, because now you're missing out on sales. They don't want to tarnish those relationships. So that is like a behind the scenes objection that you won't hear. That is like a huge thing to pull the curtain on, is by saying, hey, just to let you know, like, we completely understand that a big issue that e-commerce businesses have is that they come and they just wipe out all the inventory from the distributors. For us, we don't do that. For if we're going to go and purchase a large quantity of inventory, we'll go to our sales rep first and then ask if we can special order or bring it in. That way we don't disrupt any of your inventory for your brick and mortar customers. You're pretty much telling them, hey, I'm like the side chick, right? I'm on the back burner. I understand that your main focus is this. We're not going to overlap. We're not going to bring issues with your current relationships. That right there is like a golden ticket to getting into a door with the distributor, because now all of a sudden they're like, all right, cool. I don't need to buy inventory until they're ready to buy it. And whether that's true or false, you're just trying to get into the door. Once you're in the door, then you figure stuff out,
Yeah. This call recorded, right? I feel like I should make a new brand script for what you just said. Cause the way you described it, I feel like it's easier to open it that way. Cause that's how I got the one account got open. I use ChatGPT just to come up like I'm bigger than what I am, and it was able to open up doors for me for that certain distributor.
100%.
But they actually been working out well. But I just came across this other distributor that Hish had put me on to. So I know I had told my friend to see if he could get the account open, but they didn't allow him to. So I'm gonna try to get it open on my side and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
is it better still to call over email in first, more so, you think?
I mean, I think doing both is good, but I definitely think if you can nail down your phone calls, that's what's going to land the wholesaler, whether that's with brands or distributors, either or.
And lastly, the question I did have, so with your business, or let's just say you like at our level, like still trying to scale more, was you using liquid to pay for your stuff, or was you using credit? But the reason I said that is more so if you use credit, so say I spent $100K, then I profit the full 20%. But you have to pay off your credit card, so you only have a net profit of $20,000. How do you supposed to like recycle it correctly, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it makes complete sense. So what you got to do is you got to manage your flow. And Cam, I'm just going to mute you real quick so I can hear myself. Okay, cool. So you got to manage your cash flow. And essentially, for anyone that doesn't know what cash flow is, all it is simply managing the money, like cash that you have. So that's money in your bank account. That's money that you have on Amazon. That's any open orders you have, anything along those lines. And you just subtract what you owe. And that will tell you the difference of the net cash flow. You will pay off all your bills, how much money you're left. Now, to your point, Cam, about selling through the inventory and then having a profit, you need to be able to turn the product so you're getting money back into your business. Because if you're just sitting on inventory but you have bills to pay, then you're going to have to come out of pocket from your business. Like, let's just say that let's just theoretically say, let's use easy math here. You have $10,000 on credit. You have $20,000 in the bank. You have a $10,000 cash flow, meaning that, if you spent 10K, you would have 10K left. However, our goal isn't to go and take the other 10K to pay that bill. Our goal is to use the credit to buy the inventory, have the 20K in the bank, sell through, have profit, and now end up with 23 or 26, and then go once again through that process again. So we want to sell through all of our inventory before the credit's due. Now, the way to scale your business is actually outside of credit cards. So not enough people talk about this once again, but like the way to grow and scale a wholesale business is you need net terms. Net terms, that's what's going to allow you to change the entire path of your business. There's three main reasons why. First main reason is that you're going to be able to open up more wholesale accounts. When you go and you open up a wholesale account and you're trying to, they're going to ask for trade references, pretty much asking like, hey, what is your resume? Do you pay your vendors on time? Who are you currently working with? Those are the receipts to prove that your business is worth working with. So going back to these objections that we're facing with no e-commerce or only brick and mortar, overcoming those objections are simple when you have good references. So like Cam, I know that for you have a few good suppliers in your business. You want to heavily lean on those suppliers and say, hey, we're currently purchasing XYZ from this company. We like them. but they don't carry a lot of stock of what we're trying to buy. They can't fill our purchase orders, and we want to double our sales volume in this category. We believe that we can transfer our business directly to you with a brand new wholesale account. That's the incentive to want to say, all right, I want to steal this business. I want to take their business from this other distributor that's a competitor of ours, right? So like when you have references, you have leverage, and leverage in business is everything. Second thing is with net terms is that's what allows you to get access to more credit. So at a certain point in your business, you're going to hit a ceiling with how much credit you can use. You know, you can continue to go open up more credit cards and all that stuff, but it's not going to help with the long term of your company. When you get access to net terms, this is what's going to allow you to get access to more credit and grow a lot faster, because they will give you more credit easily as long as you're paying your bills on time. And it's simple to pay your bills on time. You just got to manage your money, you know, like financial literacy. That's it. Third thing is that when you're on net terms, what this allows you to do is when these suppliers have promotions, they will date out the promotion. So for an example, I have a company I work with. They have promotions that go on, and it's not KE, it's a different company. And like, let's say the promotion's in January, I won't have to pay that invoice until June or like May, right? So I have 5 months to pay that bill, which means that even if the ROI is 15%, I'm not using any of my own money. It's just a clean 15%. And while using other people's money, I'll take that all day. Maybe I could do that multiple times, right? So like, that's where leverage comes in, because you can really start to use other people's money to help you grow and scale more profitably, essentially. And then I saw Delk, you raised your hand here, I believe, first, or maybe it was Cam. Yeah, it was Cam.
Mike, go ahead. I asked after it's.
All right, Delk.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, I think another reason that this is a little bit off topic now, but another reason that I think I never get like Amazon related objections or even like objections in general is because of the way that I like begin my outreach. Like, I always call, but I fill out the contact us form first. So I'm already like, when you said like whenever you follow back up, you become like a warmer customer because you have like a paper trail. Like, I already create like a paper trail before I even reach out, you know? And even if they don't have like a contact us form, because some of them don't have a contact us form, like, bro, I'll find somebody from the company and email them or something like that. Like, I never just cold call. Like, I always have something there beforehand, and I'm super confident. And like, I don't know, I rarely get objections. Like, I don't do that much outreach anymore, to be honest, but like whenever I do, like, I rarely get turned away, to be honest.
I love that. That's honestly a great strategy.
Yeah, I think it is too, because I never did that before, and I used to get rejected a lot. But I started doing that, and I rarely do anymore.
That's awesome. Yes, Cam, if you're gonna chime in.
So essentially, I know you said net terms, but like math wise, isn't it better to use liquid unless I'm misunderstanding? So again, if you have $10,000, then if you had $10,000 and you make 20%, so what? That's $2,000. So in total, you'll make $12,000.
Okay.
But you don't have to pay off a credit card compared to if you had a credit card, you would have to pay off the $10,000 that you spent and only generate $2,000 net.
Yeah, but
which forces you to like recycle.
But the thing is, if you're putting out your own cash, you can't buy more inventory. You need to wait until you recoup the full 10K.
Yeah, but wouldn't you recoup the full 10K if you made the profit? Unless I don't know if I'm explaining wrong, or I would just have to show you on paper another day. I don't want to stay on this one topic and hold everybody else back.
No, I mean, I think that this is probably a question that people would find valuable for their business, you know? So the thing with credit is it depends on the period of time, and even delaying it is so incredibly important, because I mean, you're talking about, you want to, as a business, you want to be able to hold as much money in your account as possible. Like, for me personally, I refuse. There's a certain balance in my business bank account I do not go under, and it has not gone under that amount in 3+ years. And it's because once the money's gone, it's gone, right? Like, you need to sell the inventory.
Yeah.
In business, shit happens, man. You know, things come up and you got to pivot. If you have credit, you have time. If when you have credit, you're delaying when money is due, which means that you can use money in other places to help you in your business. Like, it's hard to describe. I don't know if I'm making sense, if I'm not making sense, but like, things come up and it could be random expenses, it could be a product, it could be an issue you got to solve, it could be something. And if you go and you shell out 10 grand and you wire 10 grand to a distributor, the only way that you're going to see that money is by selling the inventory. Whereas if you have credit, what it allows you to do is if something comes up, if you have 60 days to pay that 10 grand, you have the time to be able to make any pivots you need. So let's see here. As a new seller, how can you get net terms? Great question, Carlene. So really, as a brand new seller, the way to get new net terms is by not asking for net terms. So essentially, when you're brand new, you actually don't want to go out and say, hey, can I get net terms with you? You want to start and by say, hey, we're going to be a prepay account, meaning that we'll pay upfront through credit is what we want to do. But to them, it's going to be seen as cash because that's how it's going to hit their bank account. But we want to use prepay because they want to get paid up front. They don't want to give you leverage yet because they don't know you yet. So that's the first thing. Once you start placing orders, then you want to introduce the idea of saying, hey, is there any chance that we can open up net terms, for like maybe $3,000 to $5,000? Just get your foot in the door, place some purchase orders with it, pay them back, and then it'll start to incrementally build up. Yes, Doug.
When you apply for net terms, is it an inquiry on your credit report or no? Oh, it's not?
If you don't pay your bill, then yeah, they're not gonna put on your personal credit. At least I don't believe, but no, they're not gonna do personal, but it's gonna go on your business, which will screw you the same way it would for personal.
Well, yeah. I thought it went on my personal for whatever reason.
No, it does not. Uriah, I just had a convo with one of my reps about this today because I'm paying my net terms. They're going to go to bat for me and double my credit. That's awesome. Like instant leverage. Literally, it's instant profit being added to your business by doing that. Telk said he needs $5 an hour. That's it. All right, cool. So let's see who else wants to role play. Is there anyone that would like to jump in role play and give you some objections? Maybe you want to throw some objections at me that you've heard, like whatever would help you guys. And don't be shy. Someone's got to step up to the plate. I feel like I'm a teacher. I remember sitting in class when my teacher would be like, all right, well, I'm going to pick on someone. It's like, it kind of sucks. I hated being that person that got picked on. And I'm like, all right, well, what do I do now? What about Bill? Bill, are you there?
Yes, sir. I knew you was going to pick me.
That's good. Good. All right, so let's go through it. So walk me through your current outreach now. What does that look like for you?
Say it again.
What does your current outreach look like? Like when you call a distributor, are you currently calling or are you sending email?
Yes. No, I'm calling each one.
So
it's always a blank street on a lot of them, but the main thing is I used to sell a lot of things, and you call 10 people, 3 appointments, 1 sale. So unfortunately, it happens the same way here. So you're going to have to go through a lot to get the ones you want, and that you've told us that in the past. Yep. So you have to call a lot. So I'm calling, but right now we got family here for Christmas from California, so I'm kind of like down until 1st of January. But go ahead, I'm listening.
All right, cool. So I'm going to act like the distributor, and then you're going to be calling me, and let's kind of work through this and see how we can improve. So ring, ring, ring. Hello, this is KE Distributors. How can I help you?
Yeah, this is Bill from XYZ Suppliers. We're looking at possibly opening up an account with you guys, and I'm stuttering right now. I'm trying to figure this all out. So do you guys take in applications? We're a retail company. We do sell e-commerce. We sell on our website. We sell a lot of other sites. So we're looking to open up an application. How do I go about doing that?
Sure. So before we work into the next phase here, let's start with step 1. So this is what I want you to say. Hey, this is Bill from XYZ Company. We were just reaching out to become a wholesale customer. That's it.
Stop there.
Stop right there.
Okay. So what's your answer to that then?
So let's run through it. So ring, ring, ring. This is KE Distributors. How can I help you?
This is Bill, and we're looking to open up a wholesale account with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for reaching out. Just out of curiosity, what do you do in your business?
We are a retail seller. We have a lot of different avenues that we sell with. One of them is e-commerce, our website, and we're looking to open up an account with you. So how do I go about doing that?
Sure. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, what type of products are you currently selling through your retail site?
Well, we sell pet supplies, we sell groceries, and a few beauty products like your hair products and things like that. And I see your company offers those.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely do. And just to clarify, when you say e-commerce retailer, like, are you referring to also selling on Amazon, or are you just only selling through your website?
Well, we sell both. We sell our website and we do Amazon. But there's other avenues also, but those are the two main ones that we do sell on right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And are you working with any other distributors in this industry right now?
Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 right now that we buy off of them, and we do a nice business with those, and we're just trying to expand our supply list. And your company, I've been in the email, and on the website, and I've seen your products, and we're very interested in your product line.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So yeah, what's the best email to send over an application to?
You're asking me about the
You don't
email?
you could put a fake email.
Yeah, okay. xyz.com is our email, but I'd prefer not to do email right now. I'd like to get in, maybe talk to your sales manager right now and try to give him my information so we can, see what we can do with you.
Sure. Yeah. So let me transfer you to my sales manager, and then let's see. I'll see if he's available.
Well, what is his name right now before you transfer me?
Sure. So it is Steven.
Steven. Okay, good.
So I'll transfer you now to him. Boop.
So what are you saying now? What are you saying?
So now it's going to transfer.
Okay.
So now this is Steven. What I want you to do is repeat the same exact thing, right? So, hey, this is Steven from KH Distributors. How can I help you?
Hey, this is Bill from XYZ Company, and we're looking to expand our company, looking at new suppliers. We are a e-commerce company. We sell on our website. We sell a lot of other places. I liked your product line. I thought I'd give you a call and see if we can become a retailer of yours.
Okay. So going back to what we went through on the first thing, what was
I'm a little nervous, so you know that, but go ahead.
So no worries. So the first thing, right, is, hey, this is Bill from XYZ Company. We're just reaching out to become a wholesale customer. You always want to, and the reason why we want to do this, even though they will come back and then ask you what you do, you want them to feel like they're in control of the conversation, of where the direction of the conversation is going, until we have the opportunity to frame ourselves as like worthy of working with. And because if we just open the conversation and it immediately is just like coming out of like, this is what we do, this is that, what ends up happening is that the person on the other line they can feel that it's like, that maybe either you're like a little bit nervous, or maybe you're a little bit newer to it, whatever. Whereas if you just let them speak, really all we're trying to do is just figure out what problems they have with us opening the account. Like, maybe they don't even ask us what we do. Maybe they're just as like, okay, yeah, awesome. Well, Bill, thanks for reaching out. I mean, we're super excited to have you as a customer. I mean, that's
so
awesome.
you're getting back to the point you said earlier, that the more you talk, they're going to lose.
Exactly. Right. That's all it is that when the more that you're trying to convince them, when they really haven't even said anything yet, you're setting yourself up for friction.
Sure.
The best way to put it.
So you're just saying that we're just here to try to open up a wholesale account with you.
Exactly. Yeah, Bill, we're just reaching out to become a wholesale customer of KH Distributor. Oh yeah, I mean that's awesome. I mean, thanks for reaching out. I mean, we're always looking for new customers. That's amazing. So yeah, I mean, what we could do is we could just send over a credit application to you through email, and you can fill it out. And normally it takes a day or two, and then that's it, right?
It's not that easy, but yeah, I know what you're saying though.
But sometimes it is though, depending on what it is. It can become easier depending on the tonality of the conversation and not creating more friction. Because if they come up and they ask questions, now you know where their objection is going to lie. Whereas when we go out and we put stuff out, what ends up happening is that they come up with more objections for us. So like if I enter the conversation and I say, hey, Bill, just out of curiosity, like, do you sell on Amazon? You already know that essentially that's going to be the objection you're going to face. And then at that point, for you, what we want to be able to do is figure out why are you not accepting e-commerce businesses?
So you're not going to explain yourself until after you get involved with talking to them, more or less to say we're trying to open up a wholesale account.
The reason why we don't want to explain ourselves is because that is going to give them even more reason to want to say no. Like,
okay, don't give them a reason. Don't give them a reason.
I would say it's the equivalent of like, let's say that you found a beautiful woman and you're just like, you're coming off a little bit desperate. It's a way to kind of almost like push them away. Really what we want to do is do the opposite, is like almost feel as if like they're losing out, right? Like, so what we ask why this. Bill, so you said no Amazon. Just out of curiosity, like, is there a specific reason why that you're not accepting e-commerce businesses?
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, honestly, Bill, like what we've seen is that a lot of our customers or brands, they have MAP policies, and none of the sellers that we work with follow MAP. Boom. Now the only thing that you have to overcome, which is
You're going back to the old theory, the old KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
I love it.
More or less. That's what's just about what you just present yourself, very little, let them go from there.
Exactly.
Okay. That sounds good. That was a good teaching spot, even though you made me nervous, but that's okay.
That's what I'm here for. I want to be able to help.
Hey, listen, I enjoyed that. I really did, even though it upset me, but I enjoyed it because now I understand a whole lot better, and I'm sure everybody else on here feels the same way.
So I'm curious, how many people in this room, when they're making phone calls, are actually reading a script compared to like winging it?
I did.
You read scripts?
I read the script that I make up. Yeah.
In your head, or what's on paper?
On paper.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Anyone else? Do you guys read scripts? Do you guys not read scripts?
I read scripts because when I was in the car business making appointments for the internet department, that's what I used to do, read a script, and you always get the appointment.
Yep.
I truly believe that scripts work.
I fill out application forms. Yeah, and I agree. Scripts definitely work. I would say once you have understanding of like the conversation and the flow, then I would say you probably don't need a script. You don't need to like read it verbatim, but I think that it's really what it's about is having direction on when things don't go as planned. When someone throws a curveball at you, what is your response? If someone says no Amazon, or someone says we're not accepting new e-commerce accounts, or someone says this, what path do you go down that you've seen success with? And really the only way that we can get that success, and every single person in this room is going to experience that a little bit differently, is by doing the repetition, and more importantly, tracking it. And that's why I want you guys to start using the supplier leads inside the software, because it's an easy way to track your conversations. And like I said, we're going to massively improve this in 2026, coming up soon, where it'll be like more of an actual, like you can put in scripts, you can put in all this stuff, you can record conversations. Like I really want to improve this side of the software. But even now, you want to be able to track where the hiccups went. So when you come back stronger. Now, I also want to say that almost every single distributor that I buy from today took me longer than I wanted, right? Like every single account that was worth opening took multiple phone calls, it took multiple emails, it took rejection and no's and the whole 9 yards. And
well, let me ask you a question. Do you research these companies before you actually call them? Like on websites and things like that?
By research, you mean like Trustpilot and stuff like that? Or
no, mostly just getting on their website, see what they have to offer and things like that. And still, you may call and get somebody and they may not have the products that you're looking for.
Well,
if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. So to be honest, where I've seen the most success with in distributors that I work with, they don't show their products. They don't even show the brands that they offer. They just target a specific category. So instead of a distributor showing like, hey, we have Advil, we have Colgate, we have Dove, I have zero clue what brands they carry, but they carry health and beauty products, or they carry, OTCs or over the counters, or they carry pet supplies, or they carry grocery. And in my head, I make assumptions of, okay, well, health and beauty, like maybe it's Dove products, maybe it's Old Spice, maybe whatever. And that the research that I do on the front end when it comes to a supplier is more geared towards who are their competitors, because that's what I care about. I want to pin them up against their other competitors and say, okay, well, if you don't want to work with us, no problem. We'll call this company, or we're working with this company. That way we're positioning us as, once again, we have leverage, and we're pretty much saying like, hey, we completely understand. Right now we're currently buying bi-weekly from KeHE. Our average order size is $5,000. We believe that we can transfer a lot of our current inventory to KeHE because we're dealing with this problem, that problem, and this problem. And that's why for me, and I've said this time and time again, and I truly believe that it's so important, because this is where when I started seeing success in my business was when I committed to going deep into an industry. You know, if you think about an onion, you want to get down. You want to get into the onion. You do not want to stay at the surface where it's dirty and where it's easy to get into. You got to dig deep. But the only way that you can dig deep is by getting into the industry, is by getting off those first few layers to get the opportunity to get in the inside, right? To get inside that door. What happens to a lot of people is they'll start contacting some distributors. Maybe they'll open up 2 wholesale accounts in grocery. Maybe they'll open up KeHE. They'll start sourcing grocery and they say, oh, you know, screw grocery. I don't like grocery. I don't want to sell grocery, because they assume that KeHE is grocery. When in reality, that is such a small percentage of all the products out there in that industry. You just haven't gone deep enough. Or maybe you open up a pet supply catalog and you saw some pets and you're saying, oh, you know, this is all Amazon and these products are all competitive and there's one seller that's dominating everything. There's sub industries, there's sub products that the only way you ever find out about that has opportunity is by digging deep enough in it to find it. And that's why it's profitable, because people aren't willing to go and commit to something, right? We want to find the easiest path, the least path to resistance. And in reality, a lot of the times when it's easy to do, it's not worth doing. And that's why, to your point, you know, Bill, about me saying the brands and all this stuff not being shown, I love seeing that, because what that means is that people don't know. I want barrier. I want friction. I want them to say no. You know, I want it to be hard, because if it's hard and I can get through the barrier, it will be profitable. Why? Because other people aren't willing to do the work. So if you just, you know, commit to it, and this is for everyone, I'm not just speaking to you, Bill, but we just commit to, you know, okay, we found this distributor. They said no, that's okay. I'm going to follow up with them. I'm going to be persistent. That's what's going to allow you to create the business that you want.
Good point.
That it all stems from that. Like I said, all the distributors that we buy from in our business today that are profitable, that have good margins, good products, not a lot of competition, are all the ones that are harder to open. And for every single person in this room, you guys can all open those accounts. You guys can go, and you guys have heard of the distributors I buy from. Like, it's not like they're not, you know, they're out there in the world. And even if you guys were to open those wholesale accounts, it's not going to change anything, because other people can't sell those products. There's enough room to be able to make money on it. But you got to get through the door. You got to commit, right? But in a lot of these, the challenges that you guys experience with the suppliers that do say no is that you just simply don't have enough accounts in your business to be able to position yourself as being an authority over them, right? And think about it this way. In what world do we live in where a business refuses to take our money, right? I mean, we're talking about placing purchase orders that are thousands and thousands of dollars. Why is it that they say no? Why is it that they don't want the business? Like, think about that for a second. So the answer is they want the business, but they want the business with the right people. And if you just put yourself into their shoes for a second, every single time that someone picks up the phone from a distributor, it costs them money, right? They have a sales rep who's picking up the phone, that's responding to you, that could be responding to a different customer. They have to pay for the phone bill. They have to pay for computers. They have to pay for office space. They have to pay, if you do become a wholesale customer, they have to code you into the system. They have to put you in a truck route. They got to figure out what pricing you're going to have. They got to figure out all of these different things. It costs them money. Every single business, there's a customer acquisition cost. For them, it's not free. They burn money to open up wholesale accounts to make money eventually. So what they've realized is that a lot of sellers, they just spend money to lose it, for no one to come in and to buy products. They just like throw money into a fire. I mean, what business owner would want to do that? That's why they say no. They want the money, but they don't want to lose money. And they've dealt with it time and time and time again. So by you having a track record of having other distributors that you can buy from, that you can show as proof, saying, hey, you know, we're buying from KeHE, we're buying from this different distributor, and you have those receipts, that is the difference of them saying, okay, let's give them a shot. Let's burn the $1,000 that it costs us to acquire this customer, because they have that confidence that you're actually going to buy stuff. You're not just going to open up a wholesale account, look at the products, and then vanish, because that's what a lot of sellers do. You know, they take their price catalog, they throw it into a software, they try to find profitable products, nothing makes sense, and they move on. And they've dealt with that too many times. So how do you become the different seller? How do you become the seller that they view and say, wait a second, we want that we want that seller. They're going to make us money. They're not going to lose us money. We want to be an asset, not a liability to them. And it all comes down to how we position ourselves on the front end of how we speak with them. And then on the back end, which I've gone over time and time again, but I'm just going to mention it now, is we need to submit RFQs. We need to take shots in our business. Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan by not practicing. He didn't become Michael Jordan by not, missing shots. He repeatedly got up when he lost. Time and time again, for what's the story of Michael Jordan? Didn't he he didn't make his high school team or something like that, or maybe it was college team, but something happened in his journey where nobody wanted him, and then he bounced back. Right, got kicked down, he came back up, and then made it happen. And I think that fundamental thing is something to look at when it comes to business, because with these suppliers, when we open up a wholesale account, they're giving us a shot. And that shot is for us to take a shot, to show them, hey, we're potentially looking at these products. Even if it doesn't make sense, just shoot them their way. Say, hey, these are some items that we're interested in. This is where we would need to be. We know that your pricing's here. Is there anything that we can make it work? Is there any, and that's why in the software we have the ability to put in ask prices when you're building out purchase order. You want to use the ask price. You want to put in a discount because you can get better pricing. You can get discounts. You can make your business more profitable. But sometimes you're going to get told no. Sometimes you're going to get told yes. But the only people that end up finding out which one it is the one that takes the shot and isn't afraid to lose or get rejected. You know what I mean? So that's really, that's the key, guys. I want to see you guys be able to make more money in your business. And it all stems from these things up front. It's all of these things. How we contact these suppliers. What does that process look like? How do we handle objections? How do we frame ourselves throughout the entire process? When we get the account open, what are the next steps that we do? Are we sending them or are we sending them quotes? Are we reaching out to them? Like another thing too, guys, when you open up a wholesale account, you got to call that sales rep the day of, send them an email. Say, hey, this is Paul from XYZ company. We're super excited to have this opportunity to work with you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How long you been working with KHE? Oh yeah, I've been working with KHE now for 15 years. Like, shoot the shit a little bit. Be a friend. Figure out more about their life, and that they're gonna remember that. That way when you go and you reach back out to them, it's not the first time that you're reaching out. You're not, the first interaction isn't, hey, by the way, Uriah, can I get a discount? Like, you know what I'm saying? The first interaction is, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, where do you live? How many kids do you have? What are some hobbies you're interested in? Like, kick off a way that's a friendly interaction. That way, that second time when you're going to go place a purchase order, you're not dealing with as much friction. All these small things, all these small details matter so incredibly much, because this is how you get profitable on Amazon. If you don't do these things, no matter what wholesaler you open, it's not going to solve the root problem. And the root problem is that we're not treating the business like it's relationships, like long-term relationships. When you walk into a room, are you going to ignore someone? Or are you going to look them in their eyes and give them a firm handshake? It's the same theory. You open up a wholesale account, that outreach, that first message, that first email, that first phone call is the handshake. It's the opportunity to say, hey, what's going on? How you doing? So, and that's what's going to change everything for you guys. It's in the small things, small details that make a massive difference in your business, massive growth. Because once you get profitable pricing, everything changes. Finding profitable products is no longer a challenge. You're no longer looking at products that are just like, break even, low margin. The only reason why products are low margin is because of the pricing you have. People are out there making money on Amazon. They're doing well. You guys are all in this room. I know many people in this room that are doing well. So Hugo asked, do you buy SKUs from distributors you lose money on, but buy other SKUs? So I don't buy products that I lose money on. The only time I would is if it's for a brand direct. But what I do, Hugo, is I'll move numbers around. So like out here, I'll share my screen. That way I can make it easier. So what I like to do is, so like, let's say this purchase order here. Okay, so let's just say like this item, we were going to buy 240 units, so our profit was $278. So if I was looking at this PO and this item I have, if we go from the highest profit to the lowest here, we're going to see that item is the second most profitable in terms of total dollar amount, but it's a low margin. So what I'll do is I'll move my cost on like these items. So let's say I'm on the phone, because this is what this is for. Like, what I want you guys all to understand is everything in the software is a system and a process. that's allowed me to grow and scale my company. You know, this software is not built off of theory. This is built off of proof of exactly how it works in order to grow and scale. So like for me, what we do in our purchase orders is that this is where everything happens, where we negotiate, where we ask for discounts, where we move numbers around. So this is a perfect scenario where this product here is a 27% margin. I mean, it's a great margin, but this margin's too low. So what I'll do is I'll go to my supplier and say, hey, you know, for this Nair hair product, we can actually buy this product at $550, and our margin would be still 21%. But is there any chance that we can ask for a discount on this item at, let's say, you know, $572? Right. So we increased 3 points here. They lost, and we lost 6 points here. And then I would continue to do that. 27%. Right. Let's increase your cost, $472. So I'll literally tell my distributor, hey, by the way, you can just bill me more for this product here. I don't need that cost. I could actually absorb a little bit more. So all I'm doing is I'm just moving numbers around, because at the end of the day, the thing to look at is going to be the entire purchase order value. Right? What is their total margin here? And then that's the same thing that they look at on their end. Your sales rep, they want to be able to place more orders, right? They want to get in more products into their ecosystem. So as long as it meets a specific margin threshold, no one's going to ask any questions. You know, it's going to just go like swept under the rug, essentially. If we went and let's just say that we only ask for a discount for this specific product, that their margin could drop from, let's say, 10% to 7%. And then that's what's going to trigger a red flag. Whereas if you move the numbers around, it'll stay at 10% and we're both winning, right? They get the sale, we make more money, and we just push things around. Hopefully it kind of makes sense. Anyone have any questions on that, or is that kind of all make sense then? Got off the phone, 1 second here. Repeat, please. Okay, no worries. Makes sense. I got off the phone with the vice president. He told me he was willing to lose some money on his SKUs. Yeah, I mean, like personally, I would say if they have good products, as long as the total margin makes sense. Like for me, what I've always looked at are these values up top. This is what triggers us as a company to say, you know, where we at on a PO value, you know, does it make sense? And for us, we're always aiming for like 12% net and above on average on every single purchase order. That's our minimum. Traditionally, it's more like 15. And then obviously once it gets to the Amazon, things can change a little bit, but that's really what we're trying to aim for. So it's like, as long as it meets that number and you're including all your expenses, like if it means that you can make the relationship work more, then I would definitely entertain it. So Carlene, essentially all we're doing here is we're just moving numbers around. So like right now on our purchase order, we have 22%. Our supplier has a margin on their side that they need to meet in order to place the order, and no bosses or managers or directors have any issues with the order. So what we do instead is to essentially make it so there isn't any red flags, like with our sales rep's boss. Like our sales rep wants to place the purchase order for us at the price that we want, but he's going to get in trouble from his boss. So what we do is we just move numbers around on items that we can absorb a higher cost of goods. So like this item that's 25% margin, obviously that's great. It's a phenomenal margin. But this item is making almost 4x the amount of profit as this item here. I want to be able to sell this product. Margin's awesome, but it doesn't put money into your pocket. It's not going to pay your bills, right? Money is what's going to actually pay your bills. Not selling this product would be a mistake in my business. Now, the margin's a little bit lower than what I want it to be. So what I'll do is I'll go to my sales rep and say, hey, you know, Steve, this Vermont Smoke and Cure, we could actually buy this product at $5 instead of $4.72. And our margin's 23% still. Since we took a hit and we increased our cost so they can increase their margin, now he's going to come back and say, okay, well, Paul, you know, on this Garnier product, we could actually do $5.65. And then they'll give us a discount because we moved and we lost money on one area, so they're going to lose money on another area. And then it just averages out, you know. So, but we both win, right? It's not just me taking saying, "Hey, I need better pricing, I need better pricing." It's They get more profit in one area, we get more profit in one area, and then we both win. And then the PO goes in, we both make money, exactly, etc. So, this is kind of what we do in our business that we've seen a ton of success with. So, does anyone have any last questions or anything before we wrap up the call? Cool, awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone's time. I hope you guys enjoyed the call. I love hanging out with you guys, and as always, appreciate everyone jumping in, spending time with me, and I hope you guys have a great holidays with you. And
Them recordings.
yes, sir.
Please.
Yeah, I'll send you the recordings as well, Ken. I got you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care, everyone.
Hey, Paul, I'm going to send you a message on Buy Box. Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course. Take care.